the documentary, and then in 2024, Lifetime made a movie.
Miss Cleo, call me now. Okay, so this is alright. So we're circling back to book club. We haven't done this in forever, and it's the first time we've ever done it on a Monday, so cheers to that. But the books that we're doing is the African Goddess Initiation. I need to move my cup. Sorry. The African Goddess Initiation, and we're gonna coincide with the Shadow Work Journal. So it's okay that if you don't have the book, no big deal. I'm gonna read it out loud during these sessions. Since we're not gonna use the Audible, like I had said earlier, a lot of people the last round didn't like the lady's voice, including myself. So I'm not gonna put the blame on.
I gotta hear the voice, cause what?
I'm weak. Well, if you download the Audible, you can definitely hear.
What's he doing up there now? Because he always throws us off guard with his antics upstairs.
Sorry, there was random vibrating and it weirded us out a little bit. I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. So it's okay if you don't have the book, but do have paper and a pen. I had sent in one of the group chats, I think, about incense and a candle. If you do, feel free to light that when we light ours. But yeah, welcome to our sacred return to each other, to ourselves, to the pages that we've always held space for our healing. We're not picking up where we left off. We're stepping into the moment. We're stepping into the moment exactly where we are, soft, curious, and ready. The incense. I'll light incense and a candle. We'll do both. As I'm like, wait, hold on. I need my herbal cleanse.
For real.
Huh?
Make sure the space is fully cleared.
Yeah.
These bitchy attitudes.
Yeah. I don't, because it's I don't even know. I'm telling you. I don't even know.
It's been fun.
I don't know if it's been fun.
Or something like that.
I should have probably actually lit incense first and not did that. Oh no, that worked. Did it? No.
Did you ever send the link to your cousin?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Does everyone have their incense on hand? Which one? Oh, this is the desert. Yeah.
It's the one that smells like a man.
I'm weak. I guess.
It smells like aftershave.
When you do it like that, it smells like aftershave. I don't think it smells like aftershave when you burn it, though.
Mm-mm.
Are we ready? Just drop in the comments if you're ready. Or even if you don't have incense and you're just ready for your space, we're clearing our physical space and our virtual space because these internet streets are wild AF and we ain't got time for that.
Oh yeah, I left them a review and they responded the same blanket response that they responded to everybody else's review. And I was like, actually, I was in your store, thank you.
I'm weak. As we light this incense, we clear not only the room, but the energy we carried in. This is how we begin in PGST, not with perfection, but with presence. Let the smoke that doesn't belong to you, let the smoke take what doesn't belong with you. Let the scent call your spirit back to center. I didn't really like that. And it's crazy though too, because thinking about it, I feel like now. So, and when I first started the African Goddess Initiation, I bought the book in December of 2022. I pulled it up in my search history. Um, but it took me like a full like year and a half to actually like open and read it. Like I didn't, and then to start it and then to not finish it. But now I feel like I'm actually ready, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I've navigated for throughout the past year. Because even before when we first started, I didn't clear the space or anything. I just just read it. But
You were open, but not open enough yet.
yeah, I was still like
Questioning everything. And now you're like, okay, I'm gonna question everything because what the fuck do I do with all of this? But I'm gonna do something with it. So
tell me what to do now. I'm weak. Alrighty, so let's connect this to Friday. Was it Friday?
Yeah.
It was during Ricki's Goddess Coming Home meditation that we were reminded our souls are still calling for reflection. Book Club isn't just about pages, it's about the portals they create. Her voice, her energy, that sacred space cracks something open, and that's where we've landed. Back in the garden, back in the circle, back in our truth. So tonight we are reopening the African Goddess Initiation by Abiola Abrams. It's a spiritual guide rooted in ancestral wisdom, feminine healing, and the stories of the goddesses who walk with us. And we're pairing it with the Shadow Work Journal because growth without honesty isn't growth at all. And like I said before, you don't need the books yet. Don't worry about that. Just show up and you've already done that. So the first shadow work reflection, as we're twisting, as we're smoking, as we're thinking and reflecting, is what is one part of yourself you've hidden in order to feel safe or accepted. And then the second one is, what does the goddess coming home feel like for you right now? So you can either write that. If you want to share it in the comments, you can share it in the comments. If you have paper, your journal, you can feel free to write that. I'm going to write it on my piece of paper. I wonder if this is... Actually, while you guys are thinking about that, I will... excuse me, read the introduction to shadow work because some people might not even know what it is really. So what is shadow work? Shadow work is about revealing the unknown. The shadow is the unconscious aspect of your personality that the ego does not identify with. You may experience your shadow when you're triggered with social interactions, relationships, and episodes of anxiety or sadness. The unconscious mind contains repressed emotions from painful events, causing impulsive behaviors and unwanted patterns that form your dark side. In short, the shadow is composed of the parts of yourself that you have forgotten, abandoned, and repressed in order to grow and fit in with the mold of society. Think back to your childhood and recall the ways in which you would express yourself only to be rejected. You have been you have been crying and told to stop. You have been laughing uncontrollably in a classroom and given the dirty glance from your teacher or peers. There are countless ways in which you may have been reprimanded for what was deemed as bad and praised for what was good, learning to adjust your behavior accordingly. These repressed parts of yourself don't go away forever. They are stored and locked inside your unconscious mind. Shadow work is the process of revealing, accepting, and integrating these parts of yourself that you have repressed or rejected. The techniques in the shadow work journal will allow you to dive into unconscious pockets of repressed emotions and transcend the negative effects they currently have on your well being. The goal is to make the unconscious conscious so that you may work on them in self reflection and acceptance. While anyone can do shadow work, a licensed mental health expert is a good option, especially for individuals who have experienced trauma or abuse. Before beginning your shadow work, it is important to set an intention to openly notice and question your own reactions. The shadow is apparent in strong emotions and dissatisfaction. Be sure to keep a mental log of all of these sensations to truly understand where patterns occur and use this journal as a tool to identify what is causing them. to get to the root pages are an excellent sources to track your shadows and their roots. Why shadow work is important? There are many benefits to shadow work. Your pains and your triggers can be guides to help you understand what you deeply care about, bringing you closer to your life's purpose. Conversely, you will continue to identify toxic patterns in your life and change them completely. Another benefit of shadow work is that you will develop more courage and confidence to face the unknown and embody your whole self. You will develop deeper love, acceptance, and understanding of yourself which helps improve your relationship with others. Practicing shadow work helps you separate egotistical thoughts and will increase empathy and compassion for others. Compassion, in turn, exercise other forms of positive emotions like gratitude that can better your mental and physical health. Failure to face and deal with the shadow elements can be the seed of adversities and prejudice between unrepresented groups or individuals and can trigger anything from small argument to a major war. Recognizing shadow elements is an integral part of becoming a compassionate and reasonable individual. I can repeat the prompts. My apologies. Hold on. I can put them in the chat. I wonder if it'll let me post it. So the first one is this one, and the second, just a second. Okay, so I added it to the broadcast, but the first one is what is one part of yourself you've hidden in order to feel safe or accepted, and then the second one is what does the goddess coming home feel like for you right now. So those are the two prompts. And while we're thinking of that, did you want paper? Are you ready?
I'm writing it in my phone.
In your phone.
Mm-hmm.
In your phone. That's fine. Oops.
As you were writing, they were clinking together.
I was
You
like,
couldn't hear shit. I know. I couldn't hear that one bit of that big vein in it makes it look like it's.
dude, the whole thing's fucked up. And I didn't even. I was just doing too much.
All blend shapes are worthy. It's not the size or the shape that matters.
It's if it burns, baby, burn.
How many people are in here right now, anyway?
Burn, baby, burn. 4.
I feel like that's the most that we've had in here on
A
this
Monday.
toast. On a Monday, especially, yeah.
Yeah. Coming home. Okay. Okay. So, Ricki shared, so we'll read Ricki's first and then I'll read mine. So Ricki says the goddess coming home feels like the eye of the storm as I become more familiar with my powers. That's a good one. For me, I put it's finding myself, being true to myself, and finding my voice. I feel like for a while or even now still, I feel like I like hold myself back and I'm not in my full authenticity yet. It's coming, but I feel like as I grow and find myself, my voice will just, like, I won't be so, like, scared. So I feel like Saturday was just, like, a whole big test.
Oh no, Saturday with everything going on, yeah.
Yeah, no. So Friday we were trying to channel and find ours, and then
You unleashed a bitch. No.
yeah, Ricki done started some shit, and then Saturday came and they were like, "Oh, what'd you learn? You wrote confidence on that paper. You feeling confident? Bitch, you feeling froggy?" I wasn't. I did the fuck leap. I did. Did I get my money back? No.
No, but you keep leaping. You keep leaping, and they keep staying bothered by every move you make. So you did more than that.
Yeah. Shaylee said, "The goddess coming home has reminded me of who I am. I've been, I've been pushing myself to the back burner and being my own worst critic." I definitely,
We're all our own worst enemies, unfortunately.
That part. And I feel like just naturally as mothers, we all put ourselves on the back burner. And even with like all of this stuff that's going on with me, like, because I'm never like sick, like I've never had surgery or anything like that. So I feel like now with all of this, it's like, bitch, you wouldn't sit down, so sit down. Like,
I told you. The cards told you. I told you.
Yeah. So here I am drinking my water.
Need more water.
Bro, the fact that I pulled that card twice.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's Oshun, and I was like, which goddess am I supposed to call on? I don't know. Her. Duh. I'm an idiot. But, I feel like this is why the cards coming are going to be chef's kiss for all of this, because it'll help. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Sorry, we got off. I was speaking of cards. Okay, so we are gonna pull.
Okay.
We are gonna pull. The collective energy for tonight's space. Oracle cards are not about predicting; they're about reflecting. They mirror our energy, our intuition, and our knowing. So right now, I'm gonna pull from the Ascended Masters Oracle cards, and this was from our thrift store journey. But I did order
the good thrift store, not
the
shitty one.
I'm weak. Yeah, because what in the world? People making it seem like I didn't know I was going to a thrift store.
That fucking part, they lied.
Oh, how do you pronounce? And that's the thing too. I feel like I don't know how to pronounce any of the names, and I'm afraid to pronounce names wrong, so I never do it. But Ahu, Oahu is one of the guardian goddesses that I called on in the ritual.
I don't know if it's the same as Hawaii, but Hawaii, that's alive.
I'm weak. Yeah.
Is that right?
Oahu. But okay, yeah, I understand. You typing it again. I don't know how to pronounce it. Can you phonetically put it? Oshun. Oh. So see all of the names. Oh. I'm pretty sure. I think that when I had did we pull after? I feel like that was.
You did pull after. after.
And I
that
feel
was
like
the night
that
you
was the
pulled
foot.
That was the
Yeah,
night
that
you
was the
pulled.
first card. I'm weak. She said it was a typo. So I was like, I don't know. I'm weak. Shaylee got it. I'm like, what? What? Not pop some tags. Only got $40 in my pocket. I literally
This
cannot.
ain't fucking awesome.
No, the little
Bullshit.
minions coming after me.
Because they don't have anything better to do. They don't have any business. That's why they're allowed to. That's why they have the free time to respond to every single thing you've posted. Because they don't have any business.
Oh wait, you ain't lying. I wear your granddad's clothes. I look incredible.
The crabs. Comment about the crabs. This thing with the crabs too. We're gonna have the crabs often, and then you get a hold of them again about the crabs, and we weren't making enough money on that. What?
I'm gonna pop some crabs. Only got $20 in my pocket.
Craziness.
Looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome. I wear your granddad's clothes. I look incredible. From the thrift shop down the road, I'm gonna pop some tags. I'm weak. I all wrote it down too to like investigate.
Bitch, I was Googling.
Ooh, positive change. I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. Okay, so positive change. Perivity? Something. Can you see it? Besides the ring light glare. So this comes with a guidebook too.
Is it Parvati or?
I'm gonna pop some. I'm weak. The first thing it was drink more water. Only got $20 in my pocket.
Yeah, Parvati.
Parvati. I woke up in a new Bugatti.
No, hang on, because this one's got an extra A in it. So
Oh wow. Okay. Your likes and dislikes have changed, and you've outgrown situations that once appealed to you. These are positive developments signaling your spiritual growth. Some of these situations are blessings in disguise as they're pushing you to make necessary and positive changes. You may feel pushed beyond your comfort zone as multiple areas of your life shift and flux, yet the universe always stands ready to support you with whatever you ask for. Let go and enjoy this ride because it's truly the best. Additional meanings for this card: let go of procrastination. Oh boy, that's crazy. Let go of procrastination or perfectionism. Break your major goals into baby steps and take it one step at a time. Since what did we say her name was? Parvati is the goddess of mountains. This could be a message to retreat or to move the mountains. Revamp your schedule so that you devote regular time to your priorities. Be assertive into saying no into anything that diverts you from your path. Parvati is the Hindu goddess of the of mountains, marriage, and households. Legend says that Shiva, the Hindu god, was grief-stricken following the death of his first love Sati, so he retreated to a mountain cave. When Parvati? What did we say? Parvati was born in the mountains. Shiva fell in love with her devotion to helping the planet. They became united in love and had a son, Ganesh. Call upon Pavati for solace and solutions to any seeming problem, especially if you're meditating in the mountains. Go tell it on the mountains.
Over the hills and far away.
Go tell it on the mountains. That's crazy.
We are being reborn.
Yeah. Legit, though. That's crazy. We are being reborn. So, with that, oh, that's a nice little segue into the intro. So, this book is a spiritual self love initiation into awakening the divine goddess within your sacred personal power and summoning to deepen your knowledge of self. All our lives, well meaning folks say just love yourself, but no one taught us how. As we learn our goddesses and as we learn our goddess in ancient rituals, we learn ourselves. If your mother figure was not able to initiate you into this calling, it is because she did not know how. Your father figure could not initiate you because he did not know how. You are not being initiated into a religion or spiritual section. This book is an invitation to a sacred healing adventure. You don't need to pack luggage or baggage for this trip, you already have it. This sacred self love pilgrimage is about releasing that baggage. This goddess circle is a sacred society of mystics, changemakers, star children, lightworkers, and indigo alchemists who know who know that we deserve more. We have existed for generations as a secret society, transmitting struggle into miracles. We are an inclusive community of light bringers who acknowledge our own divine power. The sisters of this goddess circle recognize the spark in each other across countries, languages, ethnicities, religions, and cultures. We have been intending, praying, manifesting, banishing, binding, lighting, and putting out fires for a millennium and have been dismissed for far too long. We are not here by accident. The sages predicted this time. We are out of alignment with Aseya, aka Mama Nature. Life is out of balance. You see what is happening. There's an upheaval in the atmosphere. Old systems are being dismantled, structures are breaking, and illusions are being exposed. The patriarchy is in shambles. This is the moment to summon the sacred within the step boldly into this is the moment to summon the sacred within and step boldly into our sacred energies as queens, warriors, sorcerers, and lovers. We must nurture the goddess within, within, to course correct. You've been called to this goddess circle because somewhere in your bloodline there's someone who knows. She prayed for you before your grandmother's grandmother was a thought. She knew that you deserved better. She believed that she believed that you could have a life that she could not fathom. She trusted in her sacrifices for you. We give thanks, Shabuno, great ancestress. We thank you. We thank her and see her. But with this exploration, should you choose to accept it, is yours and yours alone. The way he was looking, I was like, wait, is there?
It looked like somebody else
Said something. Yeah, no.
I swear it just moved like somebody did, though.
It's probably the smoke right here.
Yeah.
Although there are other ways to use this book, this Goddess Rising Initiation Pilgrimage is a 42 ritual adult rite of passage. Our sacred goddess rituals are the path that illuminates the way. The word spiritual has the word ritual in it because we awaken our divine connection through the rituals we practice. I grew up in this world, but I also remember being a kid in a Catholic, Southern Baptist, and African deprived spiritual churches and loving the rituals, divine symbolisms, and ceremonies. Because my dad is a minister and spiritual mentor, both initiated in our ancient African traditional religions and in Christianity, We also had services at home. Those were my favorite. If the idea if the idea of ritual is scary to you, consider all of the rituals that you already partake in. Ooh, excuse me. Ever blow out candles on your birthday cake? Have you ever opened a gift under a Christmas tree? Do you say bless you when people sneeze? Do you put your hand over your heart to pledge of allegiance? Ever painted Easter eggs? Do you kneel to pray or meditate? Did you dress up in a costume for Halloween and go trick or treating? Do you expect to see do you expect do you expect to see brides wearing white, flanked by bridesmaids? These are all rituals. We pay little attention to the historical or spiritual significance of most of these rituals, but we do them anyway. Generally, rituals within a culture that we are part of seem normal to us. We are conditioned to see rituals and rites of passage outside of our own group as weird or strange. Accepted rites of passage in our modern society include sweet 16 parties and quinceañeras, graduations, bar and bat mitzvahs, baby showers, bachelorette parties, and retirement. Birth and death Birth and death are rites of passage we all must participate in. Ritual is a gateway to tap into your goddess energy. Surrender your inner wise woman who knows your power. Meditate on your strength instead of believing lies of weakness. Would so many systems, governments, corporations, and agencies be so invested in trying to convince you that you are not powerful if it weren't the truth? The time is now to reclaim our magic, spiritual truth, and legends. Relationship with the divine is the key that brings to unlock who we were born to be. Some of you have been traveling a long time, and that may be further along than others. If you are newer to the circle, imagine being able to welcome goddess magic into your daily life to dissolve your fears, limiting beliefs, and shadow blocks. Allow yourself to consider how ancient rituals can help you manifest and allow more joy, prosperity, and self love. So I ask again, is this your journey? Only you can know. If you have ever felt like you are not playing full out, then this is your journey. If you followed the rules and are still unhappy, this is your journey. If you ever doubt your own greatness or feel like an imposter in your own life, this is your journey. And if you're not living the life you imagine, then you're in the right place. Everything we are seeking on the outside is inside. All the things we want to manifest, happiness, love, well being, money, are on the other side of self love, self acceptance, and awakening your divinity. This goddess initiation is a rebirth into your womanhood and divinity on your own terms. This is about your personal relationship with the divine in you as you. This is the divine initiation and rebirth into your capital S self. I am your midwife in the sacred rebirth with our powerful goddesses, ancestors, and spirits leading the way through transformational rituals, practices, rites, and ceremonies for your elevation. Why African goddess magic? Hello, Pink Passion. You are not late. You are right on time, my love. Why African goddess magic? Well, why not African goddess magic? This is my spiritual inheritance that I was commanded to share with you. Again, you're not here by accident. We learned about goddesses Venus and the Greek goddesses Aphrodite in elementary school. But have you met the Guyana Bissau goddess, Mama Djombo, Yoruba Orisha Oshun, Ashanti Osam Nam Nagame, Egyptian goddess Mayat, or Haitian Iwa Azuli Dantor? Our goddess have ancient wisdom, healing magic, and transformational secrets to share. I'm gonna have to please bear with me and don't judge that I can't say these names.
I feel like most people can't.
I'm like, do not.
And if you can, come on the podcast and do it.
Right.
Thanks.
That part. Judge
Please,
your mama.
Thanks.
I'm weak. Even as folks embrace Indian yoga, Japanese Reiki, Chinese Taoism, and Feng Shui, Jewish Kabbalah, and mysticism from other cultures, ancient African religions, spiritual beliefs, and philosophy have been stigmatized, misrepresented, demonized, feared, and dismissed as backward, evil, savage, superstition, heathen, and primitive idol worship. Well,
I feel
damn.
like you said already, the restarting of this now after Friday is very fitting.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
Yeah. Definitely very fitting. Um, I was born into our traditions. I was named Abiola, a Yoruba name meaning born into wealth for a reason. The inheritance of our spirituality is my wealth. Guyana is the only English speaking country in the country. No, I said that wrong. Guyana is the only English speaking country in South America and considered to be Caribbean in culture. My mother is a devout Catholic whose grandmother told her about Ashanti and Fula roots. My father is a spiritual Baptist minister. Um, Spiritual Baptist is a centric what is it? Centric, I think, Christian religion created by enslaved Caribbean peoples with the West African traditional spirituality at the foundation. When I first read that, I was like, well, damn. Because that's literally me. My mom is from Jamaica, and then my dad's from North Carolina, so Baptist.
But the thing is her dad was a spiritual Baptist, and your dad is like, we don't fuck with any of that.
You ain't lie.
But then tries to claim the Gullah Geechee people.
Yeah, so I'm just as confused.
Like, that's even, that's not that that's dark, but that's like even deeper.
I'm a week. Shaylee said she'd be reading the names the same way, and then Ricki said to repeat what you had said about Friday.
Yeah.
No, she said to repeat it.
To repeat what I said, I feel like starting this now is really wild with everything going on Friday. Your guided meditation, what it's all about, your whole 5-part series, what it's all about. Reading this along with it makes a lot of sense.
The fact where it was
being
just
called to start this over makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Like, wait a second. And to already have the books like ready to like we're already prepared. Where was I? My father recalls being a teen and secretly attending spiritual worship meetings in people's houses because their church songs, dances, traditions, and drum beating was illegal. Illegal. That is psychological warfare. He remembers sneaking around to avoid religious raid from authorities. That's crazy. All African spirituality was outlawed and considered evil. And this was in my parents' lifetime. This fight continues today in many places. So much of our history and culture was ripped away, and that is the honor to be entrusted by the ancestors to document it for those to come. There is no one African religious tradition, as Africa is a huge continent and her children are global.
Yeah.
Yes, you do have to order.
Kidnapped, her children are global.
That part. Mother Africa's spiritual history and beliefs stretch from southern Africa, East and West Africa, and North Africa to the United States, South America, and to the Caribbean and beyond. I consider myself an African woman, American born, Queens, Harlem, New York bred, to parents and family who were born for generations in Guyana. All of us descendants of chattel slavery. This is a tremendous cultural inheritance. Golly. When Africans were kidnapped, trafficked in mass, and brutally dragged in chains to work in camps in the New World called plantations, we hid our deities and our rituals and stories of saints, angels, and legendary characters. Our deities included a powerful parade of orishas, abuzum, Iwes, Alusa, spirits, and god or goddesses from South Africa to Egypt, Brazil to Cuba, to even indigenous Australia. We chant their names: Yama, Mami Wada, Atiti, Aset, and Allah. Our celebrity artists like Beyonce are awakening and paying tribute to the sacred feminine power of our deities. But this is not new. Beyonce and others are now able to openly celebrate and light what stars like Celia Cruz may have had to hide. Give thanks. The ancestors told me to write this book. I was not given a choice. Excuse me. Then I had to get their permission to share specific pathways and teachings with you. These are our living cultures. We inherited the fears, challenges, and issues of our ancestors, but not their solutions. We exist in our rituals, rites, and ceremonies. Take a breath. This is not the new age or a trend. We have been doing this since the time began. Right before the pandemic hit, I was thrilled to be offering my first large-scale American spiritual retreat at the Omega Institute in the Rhinebeck, is that how you pronounce it?
Rhinebeck, yeah.
New York. I had 500 seats reserved for you goddesses for the goddess unmasked retreat. But as we all know, we plan and goddesses laughs. The day before the launch of the event in March 2020, we were canceled as New York State shut down everything on the calendar. I was so looking forward to doing this work with 500 of you in person and to get to break bread, laugh, sweat, and cry together to shift energy. But God or goddesses said bigger and made the space for me to rebirth this sacred medicine for you in this way. So how does this path unfold? 9 goddess temples, chapters, hold 42 goddesses, sanctuaries, or sections, and rituals. Each goddess temple is a rise through your consciousness. You will, excuse me, you will also see the stories of the goddess temple circle sisters throughout. You may be feeling excited, nervous, or even scared. Or you wandered in the little well, I promise I can read. Or you wandered in the wrong door and find this ridiculous. Whatever you feel is whatever you feel. This is your goddess initiation. These are your goddess rituals. This is your soul journey. So when did I start sharing these teachings? At the close of the 90s, at the close of the 90s, as a recent college grad, I stood on the stage of Schmoberg Center. Schmoberg? I'm looking at you because you're from New York.
Girl.
For research in Black culture in New York City with my girls in our 3-woman show, Goddess City. My creative sister, Goddess Antoy Grant, stood my left as my goddess of fever. Our current goddess of truth stood to my right, and I stood in the center of the goddess nerve. Goddess City is recorded in history as the first hip-hop theater piece ever, so folks were all kind of confused as we declared the stage as our altar. The late great ancestress Ruby D and Miss Ossie Davis were in the front row afterwards as we opened the town hall goddess circle. I have held sacred space and hosted goddess circles for over 20 years now. Some have been in my living room, gathering of 10 people, workshops, sisterhoods of 40 people, or international retreats from Bali to London. Others are digital sister circles with private online groups and courses, but whether we are 10 people or 10,000, whoever needs to be there is there. There is one thing those who are called in this path that they all have in common. We all know that Spirit is calling us higher to a greater purpose. Here is a path forward. It's your time to rise and shine. You are the sacred power and the magic fearlessly made. so much of self-help is about sanitizing spirituality and making it palatable. We've tried to take the sacred out of our rituals and ourselves. Good vibes and bad vibes are really.
Are you not live? It says you're not live.
I am. I'm not live on my personal.
Okay, that's why. I went there to find it to like it, and it wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was confused as fuck.
Can you go to the? Well, since you're looking, can you go to the? It's the business page and then share it to the chat. 'Cause I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing.
No, I don't want to switch to that account.
The one thing those who are called to this path have in common is that we all know Spirit is calling us to a higher, greater purpose. Here's the path forward. It's your time to rise and shine. You are the sacred power and magic fearfully made. So much of self-help is sanitizing spirituality and making it palatable. We've tried to take the sacred out of our rituals and ourselves. Good and bad vibes are really about good spirits and bad spirits. Meditation and breath work are about aligning with the power of the Spirit. Setting an intention is prayer. Manifestation is casting spells. A vision board is a visual prayer quilt. The essence of yoga is spiritual union. I hold no. Hey, Cam. Ricki said, anyone else seeing a retreat happening? Stop at 5.
Yes.
I hold no judgment of anyone else's practice. I share that only to say that you've already been doing this. Are you ready? When you've come into the circle, I greeted you with Sharabuna, which is the Izulu greeting. It means we see you, but who is we for each of us? My we is me, my creator, my ancestors, my descendants, my community, and everyone I have ever been or will ever be. Call all parts of you back home now. That part you left on the bottom of that person's shoe, the energy that other one sucked right out of you, the selves stuck the selves stuck to those incomplete projects. That little self who didn't get the help she needed from those well-meaning grown-ups. Call those parts back to you now. You will need to be fully present for your courageous expedition.
Okay. I have a question. Before I ask the question, I'm not attacking anybody else's beliefs. I'm not attacking anybody. Like, if you're religious and, like, you go to church, whatever, that's on you. My question is, do we think religions were pushed upon people to guide them away from spirituality and guide them away from their own power?
Absolutely.
Because in religions, you get your power from a book. People outside of you are the powerful person. You pray to them, you talk to them, you seek guidance from them. They're the one who's going to change things. In spirituality, you're the one who has all that power.
That, and I feel like when they colonized and took everyone from Africa, they needed a way
to strip them away of their power,
and needed a way to be able to control them.
Mm-hmm.
So even with like the Bible and making it so like they had to, it's like God said that you had to obey us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know. So with that thought, that's how I'm like, well, no. Ricki said definitely with Christianity. So,
I feel like that's the way with all religions in a sense, because all religions are this book, this belief, these. That was weird.
Yeah.
This book, this belief, these rules, these things, like, they all are. You talk to this person holds the power, this person these people, these gods speak through these people, like, but not you because you're not good enough.
Yeah. No, it's true. It definitely is true. But I don't know. That's what this book is. What made me like be like, oh shit, wait a second. maybe that's not.
To
Maybe
think
that's.
to think of like African spirituality. You come over here once you're freed. You're then told that even though you're free, you still can't practice your true beliefs in public because they're illegal now.
Yeah. Because even with the Salem witch trials, Ricki said, remember in the Old Testament, you could not go directly to God. You had to go to a priest. Yeah. There was always like a liaison. Because even with like the confessionals, they still have those, don't they?
They
like
sure do.
You go to like the confessional.
They sure do.
Like that's the thing that always tripped me out too. So it's like no, this is what always tripped me out. So even if you're just like looking at Christianity and like breaking it down, excuse me, fuck, and just how she had said in the beginning of the book, like how she's like, how her mom's like Catholic, and her dad was Baptist, like like Catholicism. I feel like in the Bible it says you're not supposed to idolize, right? Like you're like don't like praise anyone or like worship any other like God or anyone like that other than me. But in the Catholic religion, and this is what got that girl mad at the book fucking store. The Catholic religion, they pray to Mary, Joseph, Peter. They pray to all of them.
All the saints because they were told they have to go through the saints to get their message to God, or that these saints are specific to this. But so then if your saints are specific to this, how come why do you find all things get to God, and with their saints, with your saints, you're just talking to your saints and your gods and goddesses, and you're finding your power and using your. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to tell somebody else and have them do it.
Why would I? That's like playing telephone. Why would I want to sit there and like pass the message to you? I just want to go direct to the source, sitting there messing around, playing around. That don't make no sense.
You're not chosen for that. They were.
I guess. How do you? But then, okay, so then that brings me to the question: how do you know who's chosen? How do priests become chosen? Camille said that's how priests get away with so much because people start worshiping them instead of God.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's true. But how do priests become priests? Like, how do you become a priest?
Somebody says that they feel that calling, and then they go through. It's like discernment, formation, and ordination. So it's like classes and like reflection and guidance and formal training within the church. And you have to like go through these things and prove that you're good enough, essentially, in order to be able to make it.
But okay, so I am ordained to like marry people. Does that mean I can have a church? Shaylee said they use saints and Mary as an intercessor in prayers. They look at why not ask someone who's already good with God to pretty much put in a good word for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that makes sense, but like, I'd rather just like.
Yes. If you're ordained to marry people, you can have a church.
Oh. Would you look at that?
Ordination grants you authority to perform religious ceremonies, including weddings, which are often a central function of a church.
I'm weak. Ricki said priests are not chosen. They make a commitment to themselves to the monetary. Some won't even let preach. Yeah, that's true that some don't even let women preach. I feel, yeah, that very much so. Very, very much so.
For sure.
That's crazy. How to use this book. There are 9 key inner temples you must face to awaken the goddesses, the divine feminine within. For the full goddess initiation experience, start at the beginning and spend as long as you need with each of the goddess and rituals as you ascend through the 9 temples chapters. Each temple corresponds to an area of your life consciousness and body. The 9 temples of this initiation are the threshold, Sano, San, S-A-N-K, S-A-N-K-O-F-A, Sankofa. The second one is the temple of the ancestors, your soil energy, Amadalazi. The third one is the temple of conjurers, your creation energy channel, Hika or Heka. Number 4 is the temple of warriors, your power energy channel, Ase. Number 5 is the temple of shadows, your inner monsters, Jumbis. 6 is the temple of lovers, your love energy channel, Ubuntu. 7 is the temple of Groits, your voice energy channel, Akobin. 8 is the temple of queens, your insight energy channel, Chi. And 9 is the temple of high priestesses, your ecstasy energy channel, Umbilini. Each chapter is the sanctuary of 5 goddesses, ancestors, or spirits from the global African diaspora. Shak Moon Ki Reeve Vani Ak Moon Pali. That is a Haitian proverb meaning each person who arrives comes with a person of his own. As is our cultural tradition, those you invite bring friends. So when I opened the door for the goddesses, they brought the divine ancestors, ancient queens, and other spirits with them. You will meet each of them and receive her wisdoms, gifts, and lessons, and then you will be given a transformational ritual based on the tradition practice related to her key principle. As an alternative, you may choose to use this book as a reference guide. For example, if you need a grief ritual, you can find Goddess Allah and use the grief ritual immediately. If you feel ready to deal with the wounded healer in you, locate Goddess Shekmeet. Goddess Tanit is who you need if you want to turn up your pleasure practice. Go directly to the Temple of Shadows if you're dealing with your shadow self. If dealing with your shadow self is your focus. Who is invited as an initiate? This is a sacred feminine quest. Spirit chooses who should enter the circle. The language I use includes terms woman, women, sister, daughter, goddess, and the pronouns she and her. I address all readers as goddesses. This is the divine feminine energy pathway, but we all have both sacred masculine and feminine energy. I also speak of the yoni and energetic womb. If this language feels like home to you, you are welcome here. Some of the deities who showed up are from closed practices. If this is the case, I will let you know the honorable way to proceed. When I was younger, I remember being annoyed about someone inserting themselves in a circle, a closed spiritual practice. It felt disrespectful, although it wasn't my ceremony. I was like, is the fan on? That second fan's not on. When I was younger, I remember being annoyed about someone inserting themselves in a closed spiritual practice. It felt disrespectful, although it wasn't my ceremony. I thought we have so little, so we must protect it. Then Spirit told me, we can take care of ourselves. Just share what we ask you to share. They command me to shift my world overview from we have so little. They said we are wealthy. You are an heiress. You have so much. We choose who shows up, and that clarified it for me. The spiritual self-love initiation is a paradigm shift. The human part of you will do anything to hold your identity, your perception of self. This is why sometimes traditional self-help falls flat. They told us to be a girl. They told us that to be a girl is to be less than. The opposite is true. You are fertile with everything we need for a better tomorrow. You are fertile whether you give birth to another human, On this path, we speak with reverence about the energetic womb and yoni because many of us were taught that our body's natural parts and functions are dirty and shameful. So we need to cover up with sugar and spice and everything nice. Women identified people give birth to society's dreams. Knowing this is goddess rising. Please note that this is a first do no harm spiritual healing passageway. About the energy channels, when I was a kid I loved jumping double dutch, hula hooping and roller skating. The magic of jumping between two ropes, balancing circles on my hips, and walking on wheels was also an initiation into the magic of paradoxes of black womanhood. When you are called to deliver sacred medicine, which is what I consider this book to be, you bring yourself to it. So you, dear reader, get bamboo earrings, at least 2 pairs. Me, Yongli, meditation me, weirdo, whose family had chickens in a New York backyard me, and braids, beads, barrettes, and eating messy mangoes me. You get the all of me, who was a teen rapper in the group named Females Beyond Control. That's a mess. And the me who studies chakras, because the power of chakra work and similar systems are the foundation of many of the healing systems I channel and create. I use that as a foundation here too. I didn't want to confuse or overwhelm readers with the ancient African and Indian spiritual systems, so I created a chakra based system that is distinctly African. But it is important for me to acknowledge my lineage. For those who find it helpful, the lower 3 temples here mirror the lower chakras, the upper 4 temples mirror the upper chakras. However, you don't need to know any of that for this experience. You will learn to use these elements in the first chapter, The Threshold, in Mawu Lisa's section. How to create a goddess group. You may take this goddess initiation adventure solo or with a goddess circle. A goddess circle or sister circle is a group gathered for those purpose of personal evolution. You can have 3 or 30 vibrant souls in your group. Invite only who are positive and excited about evolving together. If you have to drag or convince any one of them, then they are not a good fit currently for your group. Having a reading schedule like a book club, and then come together to share your thoughts and ritual experiences. For example, you could decide to jointly read. That's crazy. For example, you could decide to jointly read one goddess section per week. Have a regular meeting time weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Be sure that everyone is given equal time to participate. One person can be the organizer and leader, or leadership can rotate. Your meeting can be virtual or in person. You will find additional resources in the back of the book to enhance your experience. How to to each of you. Those words are following things: set intention, pray and meditate, cleanse the space, take a shower, bath, dress and light your candles, burn incense, go to the altar, make a sacred offering, turn on music, and or invite spirit. Follow your own inner guidance. Please note, traditionally the word work is used to describe ritual in most global African practices. What is sacred water? Some rituals ask you to use holy or sacred water of your choice. Of course, holy or sacred water can be blessed by a spiritual figure. Sacred waters may include rainwater, moon water, and sun water. Each is created by setting your intentions with the water and charging it for at least 90 minutes in corresponding element. Ocean water is also sacred water that can be replicated by adding the salt of your choice to water. Coconut water can be used as sacred water as well. You can purchase sacred waters, colognes that have been used for ritual work for generations, including Florida water and Kanga water. Kanga water is a holy ritual cleansing water made with ylang ylang. It's like Florida water for the Caribbean. Feel free to create your own sacred water by charging water on your altar and praying over it. What is the crossroads? In many rituals, you will see the note dispose at the crossroad of your own understanding. Leaving something at the crossroad means releasing what no longer serves you. That's crazy.
Why?
Because we released on Thursday. We had the meditation Friday and then Monday.
And technically on Thursday, because there was 3 of us here, that was a crossroads.
Whoa.
We've been at a crossroads. We can release stuff there.
Damn. Damn. Haley said alignment, and she was just reading something about rosemary water being powerful in hoodoo. Really? That's crazy. Crossroads. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Leaving something at the crossroads is releasing something that no longer serves you. Natural items such as herbs take on the energy of spiritual work when the spiritual work you do with them. If you're using them in a ritual to release negative energy, for example, the energetic residue will be in the herbs. Crossroads are the space of highly transmutive energy. In an ideal situation, we would have access to a real 4-way crossroads, but most of us don't. Decide what represents the crossroads for you. It could be your backyard or your garbage disposal. Just come from the train. Just come from an energy of reverence and gratitude, and all will be well. Why include diverse cultures? Question mark. For those of you who take an issue with for those of you who take issue with goddesses and spirits from different diaspora traditions and pantheons working together for our evolution, note that many of us, this was our ancestral experience. We suddenly found ourselves side by side with our sisters and brothers who spoke different languages and venerated different deities. Venerated? That doesn't sound right. I don't know. Sorry. So this is how goddesses showed up in my ancestral memory together. This is not new thought movement. This is ancient thought movement. We are not new to this. We are true to this.
You were right on that word. It's venerated. I don't know what it means.
Oh.
But it was definitely venerated.
But yeah.
It's the act of honoring a saint or a person who has been identified as having a high degree of sanctity or holiness.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay. So, I mean, I know that was a lot to process. But, hold on, let me put this in here. But I guess that's a good place too. Oh, right at the end of the. Look at that. And right after 11:11. But just to close out, so I invite everyone to put their hand on their heart or their womb space. Close your eyes and whisper this. I am returning to myself. I welcome myself, my softness, my power. I am home, even in the shadow. I appreciate you guys tuning in today to our first rebirth episode of Book Club in continuation to Ricki's 5-part series meditation, which is available on the website prettygirlsmoke2.com for $5.55 if you were not here and you want to get your recording of that. So please support, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on Thursday. Bye.